grew up in the West, right? And Chaos is a hip hop artist, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And he, like, I mean, he liked hockey, you know, but he was discriminated against because they're like, well, you're black. Like, you're supposed to, like, you know, all this kind of stuff, you know? So, I mean, maybe those guys over there, I mean, if they're, you know, maybe they feel they have to portray that because, you know, I don't know, they don't fit in or something like that, or I'm sure it's very stressful for them. Like, if you don't have a strong black community and there's only a few, and, you know, it must be hard.
Seriously, if it isn't me.
You know, and then that's, I mean, there's just barriers and preconceived notions. Like, for instance, if they look at you and they say, oh, you know, they see you as some white guy or whatever, they don't know, you know, your interests, they don't know, you know, what kind of things. And maybe if you were to get to know them, maybe what they're portraying on the outside and who they are really inside is not the same. But just on the outside, they're trying to portray an image, you know, because they feel that's what people think they are, or maybe they're afraid to show who they really are, like, you know.
Yeah, because it's because media type propaganda, like,
you know, maybe
especially like music videos really add personas to selected races, you know.
Yeah. But I mean, they already stand out. You know what I mean? So they're trying to. It's either you either try to assimilate or you just completely stick out. So
I mean, at one time, you know. At one time in the past, you know, people could have looked at me and said, okay, well, this, you know, this guy's got to either be into like country or you know, something like that, right?
yeah.
You know.
And maybe too for the guys, I mean, that's an image that they could associate with, right?
Look at all the bumps on this road. They have like patch upon patch. It's like not even a road, it's just a bunch of cement patches.
The bridge is a mess.
And I mean, it's like white people do the same thing too, eh?
But I'm just saying, them being the minority over in the, you know, maybe they are like that for you, and maybe they're not. Maybe they like country, but they have to act like that, or they feel they have to act like that. Maybe they like Metallica. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't know. You really don't know until you get to know them. But how people carry themselves on the outside and how they really feel inside, not necessarily
Well, the stereotypes are strong, eh?
But what I'm saying is they're already stereotyped against. I mean, if you're over there in Edmonton and there's not a big black population, people already have preconceived notions. I mean, if the guys are like, yeah, you know, I love washing and, you know, this kind of stuff, people are going to be like, yeah, but you're black.
Is this is the bridge that the Mohicans are fixing?
The Mohawks.
Sorry? Mohawks? Oh, what's the difference between Mohicans and Mohawks?
Well, Mohicans, it's a different indigenous tribe, and I think they
See,
were...
I was right then, because they were annihilated, or they were wiped
Yeah,
out.
that's right. Yeah. And I mean, I think they were like Latin American or South American. Yeah, Darryl, you would only know if you really got to sit down and talk with them, and I bet you they would say a lot of stuff that would surprise you, the same way that you would say a lot of stuff to them that would surprise them. And you have to remember too, I mean, you come from a very multicultural family, right? So you have a lot of perspectives of these things, and you really, you know, so, you know, even like, you know, when my father was alive, right? So, I mean, your uncle, your cousin, your daughter, you know, like people who are really close to you and who are your family members that you know personally. So a lot of other people don't have that kind of opportunity, that their family is so... It's, you know, it's not like your distant cousin or something. It's your immediate people, right? That are literally complete, like, different nationalities.
It's polo happening, you know?
Kennewick. Kennewick. Club Riz.
I don't think so. It's just that we have to go out through Rivière de Paris, but the signs will show when we go back through the bridge. But there's just a side road. That's it.
Is this a shortcut?
No, we have to go. This is where we went through last time, the reserve.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's no other way from your place to Grandma's without going through here.
It is a shortcut,
Oh.
but yeah. The other way is pretty long. You'd go through Shawinigan.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's why you have to remember, like, things that are obvious to you, right? And plus you already have a more open spirit, are not necessarily to other people. You know, so I think that if you see some people that you find interesting or and stuff like that, you can just have a conversation with them and, you know, talk to them and, you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is how people portray themselves and how they really are inside, sometimes it's not the same thing. Sometimes it's really different. But I mean, if
Well,
you
that's the souvenir
yourself,
shop we went
if
to.
you imagine yourself being in an area, you know what I mean, where you were the only white person or there's only few, and already there was this stigma and stereotypes and stuff like that going on, right? Maybe you wouldn't feel a certain way, but maybe you'd feel you have to portray yourself a certain way, right? It would be difficult. It's it's hard on people.
But it shouldn't be.
Are you trying to lift this up?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I mean, if I go to a club and I'm the only white person there, that shouldn't be awkward, right?
Yeah, but the thing
There
is,
shouldn't be. It shouldn't even be a thought,
Old
right?
Maloney's Gasper.
You know.
no, it shouldn't be a thought. But unless people get to know you, it's the same thing. We did that one time.
But you know-
remember one time when we went to Delray's and you said that and you were like, "I'm the only white person here," and I said, "No, there are other white people," and you're like, "Well, yeah, there's two. I counted or whatever." But once you relaxed, you realized nobody cared. Nobody could care less, right?
Well, yeah,
If you
I
relax,
think I started easing up when I noticed there was like a few black chicks checking me out, right? And I was like, okay,
But if you
I've got it going on in here, whatever. Because I noticed they were starting to get sweet on me, you know? No, they were, you remember?
No, I believe it. Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is that, I mean, when you relax, people will relax. You know?
This is a school, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, like, I've had friends in the West, and like they'd be surprised if they met you, right? Because like they you know, right off the bat they would assume that you'd like have some kind of like strong accent or something, you know? You know, like some type of kind of like almost like they would expect you to speak in some type of, you know, gangster slang or this type of thing, right? You know, and I mean, they would never, you know, think that you pick Guns N' Roses at the karaoke, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy, like some of these like notions, like
but that's it.
I've heard from like my own friends, you know. You know, it's like, and the really stupid ones, you know, like black people can dance, gay people can dance, you know, like.
But I mean, if you don't have, you know, if you don't have the.
Because I know not all black people
I
can
have
dance.
the same one. I'm okay.
You know?
Yeah, we use glycomid a lot.
But that's, I mean, it's only different over here because you have the opportunity, right? Like I said, amongst my friends, or, you know, like you just have the opportunity to actually meet people and speak with them and interact with them, right? So it kills a lot of these stereotypes and stuff like that because you have the opportunity to directly interact with people. And, you know, I mean, we still have those things here and stuff like that. But I mean, like Donald too. You put Donald, if Donald were to show you his friends in terms of the range of ethnicities, ages, you know what I mean? You know, where they're coming from in terms of their levels of interest. It's, you know, so, and you have an opportunity to do that here. As you see, when we were sitting there at City Express, I mean, like every different, you know, so many different ethnicities, right? Just walking by you.
Yep.
I think maybe that's why there's so many misconceptions like that in Edmonton.
So you get to interact.
Because we have so few.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You know, black people don't really ever get to
Yeah, you
know
don't
them
get to- exactly.
and be contested with their beliefs, you know?
Yeah. But that's it. And that's why too, it must be hard for people of different, you know, ethnicity groups living over there, right?
And I notice teenagers fall into that trap very easily, eh? You know?
I mean, if you want to categorize, trying to understand your world, right? And plus you're feeding in too much music and all this stuff or whatever. So I mean that's who's at that time is telling you what's cool, what's not. I mean that's your life, right?
Yeah.
Lord forbid orange is in and you're wearing purple, right?
Yeah,
Like, that's it. You can't go outside. You know. So. But that's really it, Darryl. I mean, it's how many types of experiences and stuff like that. I mean, like here, for instance, we have a lot of Arabs, right? Lebanese, Egyptian, Moroccan, right? So you have the opportunity to experience foods, to have people explain about their country. You actually get to learn internally, different, like Arabic, for instance, like what's the difference between Egyptian and Moroccan and Lebanese Arabic, right? Where do you
learn
speak
cultural
it?
things.
Exactly, really intricate things, right? That helps you understand why things are the way they are and people's perceptions, right?
Yep.
But that's only because you're sitting down, eating or going to an event or doing an activity.
Or going to school with someone,
Yeah.
or sharing the same building with
Exactly.
someone.
You've been to their house, whatever. So that's why. Whereas suppose if you've never met and then the media is telling you, oh, Arabs, blah blah blah, right? And you're like, oh, it must be true, right? Because you don't have that direct personal experience.
That's true, yeah.
Well, if you're gullible, you take it as gospel.
Yeah, I know, but what I mean is it's different when you have, right? Because then you know, oh yeah, you know the differences because you sat down and spoken and you were, just like you were saying, you're able to ask these questions and people will explain these things to you, right?
Well, like you
If
go
you're
to a
curious
club,
and
you
you
go
wanna
to
know.
you go to a club, right?
Yeah.
And you see like, oh, okay, not all black people have rhythm.
Yeah.
You're seeing it right
Well,
there,
it's a
right?
stereotype.
No stereotypes, exactly, right? Not all of them have their eyes set on rap career, right? Like stupid stereotypes, We're just whacked out. But it drives me nuts when people talk, tell me these things that they think,
Yeah. But like I said, you've had direct experience, right? And that's why it gets frustrating for you, right? Because like I said, your family, right? I mean, you have.
Yeah, but
even
I
linguistically-
also believe that I don't believe people are naturally racist. I think people are taught to be racist.
Yeah.
Because when I was younger, I mean, I didn't separate you as like my black cousin.
Yeah, exactly.
I just thought that's my annoying cousin, right?
Yeah. Wait
You know?
a minute.
Oh, Darryl.
That's why you stuck the cards in my hair.
Hey, that car drove itself in your hair.
What? You had what?
The two front parts at me.
Oh no, frog parts on your head?
No, you put cars. You know those cars?
Like toy, Matchbox?
No, those are.
Oh, the remote control
Yeah,
cars.
I thought it would be really funny if he.
And he tangled your hair in the wheel.
No, he just put the car in my hair, and it was on.
And then they grabbed
Yeah.
your hair. Oh my God, Darryl. That's so cruel.
And that was because I told him his gremlins were stupid.
It's gremlins?
I told him his gremlins were stupid.
So I hung
I agree, Darryl.
I hung our Cabbage Patch dolls with the noose.
Oh jeez.
Tried to rip off their heads.
You remember that when I hung your
And I
Cabbage
even
Patch
remember
dolls
the
with the
names of
noose?
them, Charmaine and Maggie.
Charmaine and Maggie were the Cabbage Patch dolls?
Remember when that Cabbage Patch doll was hanging by the noose?
Torture.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, it's off the
And
hook.
he's like, I think what happened, I was underneath the bed, and I got stuck underneath the bed. Because Darryl went underneath the bed and he came out, and then I went underneath the bed and I got stuck, and I think while I was stuck, he put that car in my hair.
Oh my God.
I didn't put it on your hair, I put it on the bed.
Oh yeah, you're right, you're right.
Yeah, put it onto your hair.
Because I was crawling underneath the bed, we were
And the
playing.
hair was sticking out,
Yeah. And then it went, and my mother was so mad.
Well, I don't blame her.
Because my hair was like about to hear it, it was all out. She had to cut it out.
Oh, I'm so
But we
sorry.
were always together though.
Yeah, like me and my cousin Mark.
Yeah, we were like always
We
together.
were 3 months apart, So we went to all the same school, so grade 3 till
Yeah.
we moved out.
Yeah.
But it's very hard not to be racist. Like, if you look like in an almanac,
Yeah.
all the statistics are put by races.
Yeah.
Caucasians, blacks, Mexicans,
But
you know.
the thing is
And I mean,
once you realize that people are people and people have reasons for doing certain things, and you know, certain like people like to eat certain types of foods and stuff like that, and you know, it's the same thing as grandma and grandpa, right? Like they faced a lot of racism when they came over here too, right? I mean, being immigrants, not speaking the language and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. But it's understanding, it's being able to feel empathy and understand that your way's not better, and being able to see like people have different ways of viewing things that might be different, or it might be.
well, it's human nature to think that your way is the best way of doing things.
But it's just through
And that's
really,
where people fall into a trap.
it's just really through having conversations and getting to know people and treating people like people first. You know what I mean? Because like I said, like you were saying about these guys who acting, you don't know how they are inside, how they really feel inside, but they are people just like you. They have the same ideas, just
No,
like
I
you.
just know how they
But that's
present themselves.
yeah, but that's an image.
in an environment that it's not necessary.
Yeah, but that's an image. But for them, they might feel it is. You would only know by talking to them or trying to befriend them, right? And you might learn a lot of stuff. In the same way that them looking at you might not have any idea about yourself, but by talking to you, they find you're a very interesting person and learn a lot of stuff, right? But that's where you have these things of making friends and this kind of stuff, and then just the same thing, right? Like you know a lot of Native people, you have a lot of friends who are Native, right? And that was through making friendships, getting to know people. It's the same thing. You can do that with any ethnic group, right?
Are we approaching Learie now? Learie's before Chateaugate? No, Learie's before.
After.
Yeah, we're still in.
Learie's after Chateaugate coming back.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what I mean, Darryl? It's like if you show that you would like to, I mean, of course there's misunderstanding, right? Because you're not communicating. But if you were to show like that you would like to make friends with or reach out there, I mean, it's different, right? And then that's how you would really get to know. Because like I said, they could be fronting like that, but be, like folk music. You don't know, but they're portraying themselves that way. Why they're doing that, you wouldn't know until you found out, right?
There's railroad tracks on both sides? There's railroad tracks here and on that side?
I don't know. I never thought about that. I don't think so. That's woods.
Just on this side, eh?
But you're right. This is Learie, though. You are right. We drive by Learie, and then. But this used to be our bus route. I mean, this is a new highway. Before this, we didn't have, so we had to go up over there. Through Chateaugate.
And how far away from where you lived with your mom?
The house there, the farm,
Yeah.
where that farm was. So my grandmother's house was inside, further in Maple Road.
Yeah.
So like there's a road, I'll show you, but if you went straight down that road, then you would come upon the house that we all were living in. That
So
was my grandparents' house.
Darryl lived with his mom or just with
us.
grandma? With you
We were all
guys?
together.
But was
were
Irene here
children.
too?
Well, he was living some time in Verdun or whatever.
With his mom and
Yeah,
someone
I
else?
guess, but I don't remember.
Your
All I remember
stepdad?
is
Was she married here in Quebec, your mom?
No. Crazy French boyfriend that was always chasing her around.
there was a period of time that we just spent a lot of time, and we were with my grandparents.
Yo.
Liquidation 747. What's this?
It's the same thing, Darryl. Like when I was in high school, I went through my different phases too, right? And I went through a phase where I dressed a certain way, but it was my own thing. So I was alternative, I was goth and this kind of stuff because people were like, you're supposed to like this, and my high school and stuff like that was predominantly white. I had a friend who was white. She only listened to hip hop, reggae, and stuff like that. And so people were always like, well, it's not supposed to be that way.
Oh
and
my
we're like,
God.
why?
Yeah,
and they're
really.
like, well, because you're black and she's white, so you're supposed to like this and she's supposed to like that. You know what I mean? And so those are the type of things, right? So as a result, I just made my own stuff. I wore my own clothes. I actually made my own clothes. right? And came up with my own designs and stuff like that because I was me, right?
Yeah, that's a whack challenge.
Yeah, but that's people trying to categorize, just like you were saying for teens. Watching music videos and stuff like that, they see someone like me, I'm supposed to be liking hip-hop and reggae only, not have any other interests, be a certain way. My friend looked a certain way, she was supposed to like, you know, she was...
Preppy music.
Yeah, she was like Irish, Scottish descent, so she, you know, they had expectations of what, and the people in the community as well, right? So they're like, well, you're supposed to like what we like, you know, and this kind of stuff or whatever. So, I mean, that's just people trying to categorize people and place them in what they think they should be in.
Yeah.
You know, and Donald too. I mean, you know, growing up here, his interests and stuff like that, and people trying to categorize him as well. But he had other, you know, his interests, right? That didn't fit stereotypes.
Were you brought up more of the Caribbean way or French way, or like when you started going to elementary and junior high?
My whole life is based on West Indian upbringing, Caribbean upbringing.
So at home, what was the predominant language you guys spoke?
English.
English? Okay.
Have you ever been in with any white girls, Donald?
I have.
So overall, like, who do you find the sexiest? Like,
It doesn't.
I don't have any preference.
There's no preference. I mean, when you see people,
For
who are
real?
people, yeah. I mean, it's people. It's what you're attracted to about the person.
Yeah, but sometimes like he prefers women with dark hair, dark eyes, darker skin.
Yeah. I don't sound like that. I could care less what you look
I
like.
just need someone to take care of me. I don't care where you're from, what you look like, how you look.
Yeah.
well,
It's not
that's just a physical preference, but
Okay, but if it's a preference that gets
He
in
doesn't
the way,
have Darryl. Donald's not
but
physical.
relationship-wise, I don't value
I don't have
that
a type,
preference
I
so
don't
much.
have a size, I don't have the stuff that may be stereotypical to guys. Like, oh yes, I like women to look like this and have the no. I'm not like that at all. I'm not like that at all. I'm really about the inside.
I could be green and like 2 feet tall with yellow eyes.
Right.
Yeah, and could care less.
could be kinky or sexy.
Yeah.
Some men are into that.
Not on this planet.
Some men are into that.
But you know, and for me, that's important, right? Because you know, you just don't want someone who has certain things or whatever, or like you just because of certain
Well,
traits.
she has to know that I value people for who they are because I'm with her and I'm not with like some dark-skinned brunette.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I am brunette now for a reason.
And she's gonna be blonde, yeah. Because we were having discussion because she dyed her hair brown because Darryl likes brown hair. Right? So we were saying it's not good, right? To dye the
And
hair like that.
she likes me with hair.
We like her. Yeah, but we were saying it's because it's a chemical, and it's not necessary for her to put a chemical in her hair. It's not good for you. So, you know, that's why.
All I'm saying is we both made our compromises.
I know, but it's different though.
I grow hair to make her
It's
happy.
different. I mean, her hair is long, and that doesn't have any effect on her body because she's not introducing a chemical. So she grows her hair long for you, right? The same way you grow your hair for her. So you're doing the same thing, but she's not asking you to bleach your hair or dye your hair. See?
So I'm doing twofold.
If it wasn't for her, I'd be bald all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, if it wasn't for you, perhaps she'd have short hair. She's growing her hair because you like that. So you're both doing the same thing. But to dye the hair is different. So you're introducing a chemical that's not good, it's not healthy. And it's a dark dye, that's what we were talking about. Entering into your system, it's not good for you.
She is free to do whatever she wants.
But then we were saying too, right, it's doing because it's a level of attraction. You have specified, I like brunettes, right?
Well, you know what? He might have subconsciously said that because I asked him flat out. But my fear is that he's always, when a brunette walks by, or a native girl or whatever, that really drives me nuts when he looks at the native girls, because it pisses me off. It's like, what am I, chopped liver? You know?
I only said in physical appearance as my preference, but that doesn't mean I particularly value looks.
But the thing is, it's different. But it's different if, like she's saying, if she's with you and then someone who has those physical characteristics that you have said that are attractive, and that, you know, those type of females walk by and you're looking at them, it's gonna make her feel bad.
And also when he had his exes were on Facebook, his old account still, and new account he cut it down. But it's like always in my mind, the exes are the ones that he can still physically in his mind see naked. Or see, you know, like remember when he was with them. That's my fear. He'll say it has nothing to do with it, it's not true, but in my... Yeah, it's like you can't erase someone's presence, you know, just like that.
Sure can.
You say you can, but in my mind, it's like, you know, you can have your fantasies, you can, you know... How do I know you're thinking of me when we're together? That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't make the person feel comfortable.
Yeah, or attractive.
Oh, I feel like hell sometimes. I feel like a fat old lady.
No.
Well, I know you're saying no, but this is what is actually going on in my mind. Because of many years being rejected by a man or being alone for 7 years, I feel unworthy to have an attractive young man like you. That's my point.
It's just your actions, right?
I'm just as flawed as anybody else.
We're not talking about you. We're talking about me.
And it's not about the flaws, we're talking about...
Yeah, it's inadequacies in my mind.
To make the other person feel more attractive and loved, right?
Yeah. Like
They
if
just
you...
wanna feel comfortable. They
Yeah.
want to feel that you're not...
See, like, in order for me to feel loved and accepted, I need a little bit of physical contact, like a hug and a kiss in once in a while, or hold my hand once in a while, not just say goodnight to me and that's it, or else smile at me from across the room. Like, I actually get jealous of people walking, holding hands, or giving each other a kiss at the bar or whatever, and I feel like I'm like, you know, like I'm your buddy, you know? It's like, it's not the same.
But that's something, I mean, you know, to be fair with Darryl about that, like the things that what you were saying about, like on the, you know, what Donald was saying as well, the having exes and stuff like that on the Facebook. I mean, that's something that, I mean, that's Darryl needs to, like Donald was saying, clean up and be true.
But he's comfortable with it, and I have no issues as in real life.
In the back of the
I
mind,
know,
yeah.
I know that he would never go searching out for these
but in the back of the
girls,
mind,
or
just
he
like
would
you're
never
saying,
cheat on me,
But in the
or
back of the mind, it's, you know, it's a level of feeling attractive.
That's right.
something of
It's
the
a personal
holding hands,
reflection.
yeah. The holding hands and the kissing and stuff like that.
It's important.
Something, yeah. But it's something. I mean, this is something that's a personality trait that. You know what I mean? Like the fact that he sits beside you, the fact that he makes eye contact with you.
I know.
These are things that
what I'm
are
saying.
very... I mean, he's coming out of his shell to do that.
Yes.
He doesn't usually do that.
Yes,
But I
I've
mean,
been
the other
told
stuff-
that he's very to himself.
But the other stuff is stuff that, you know, I think he understands what we're saying. And
Oh yeah, I know he
something-
does.
Because it really just boils down to, you want to know that he finds you attractive. You yourself.
That's the point. That's the point. In order for me to
Without-
pleasure him, I need to feel like I'm doing something right. Like get a little bit of you know, feedback. You know.
Yeah. And just like you're saying, I mean, you want to hear...
Because I have a lot to give.
Yeah.
I am like so ready to just give everything.
Yeah.
And you know, it's
But that's what we're saying too. I mean, at the same time too, you know, like with Darryl, it's, you can't just, you have to pull back a little, and when he comes, then you
I
give
know.
some more. When he
But-
comes, then you give some more, right?
But I can't help myself. I am aggressively affectionate. Like I could actually just squeeze him and pick him up and take him away, you know?
Yeah.
You don't do anything wrong.
I do. I'm overly sexual.
Oh, why do you say that, Darryl? Why do you say that?
Say what?
Well, you said she doesn't do anything wrong, right?
But she doesn't.
But
She doesn't do nothing
But
wrong.
you hear what she's saying, though, right?
Yeah,
You hear what she's saying?
I hear what she's saying.
And he knows that I'm like, I'm ready anytime, man. Swimming pool, lake, wherever. It's like,
Yeah.
come on and get me.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it has to be more of a mutual, sort of like an initiation.
But I think, you know, it's a little bit too of, if you hold back a little, he'll come to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he knows. All day I sit patiently.
Like when you disappear, you go somewhere, then he wants to know where you are, you know? He's like that.
But he knows. Patiently I wait all day long so that we can have that time to go to bed together, to sleep in each other's arms, to say nice things, to thank each other for the day, to, you know, those little things are important to me from him. That's what I wait for all day long. And then there's other couples you see. You might see them holding hands or necking or whatever, but then when they get home, you know, they're in their own little space too, right? And we're more connected when we're at home together, just being the two of us.
That's the main thing, like just like you were saying. I mean, like if you're sitting there at a, you know, cafe or something like that, and you have brunettes or someone, you know, native people walking by, that Darryl is, you know, making contact with you and not looking, right? You don't, this is not a thing to feel, you know, if he's specifically checking someone else out because of those particular physical characteristics.
Or on Facebook.
That doesn't make
looking at people, looking for friends. That's what drives me nuts. Is always trying to find more and more people.
Right, Darryl? That's a behavior that's not nice. It would be the same thing if she was sitting with you and she said, oh, I like my guys to look like this. And every time a guy who looks like that walks by and she's looking at him head to toe.
How would you feel about that, Darryl?
Darryl would have a fit. He wouldn't talk to her.
How would you feel, Darryl? Let me hear from you. What would you say if it was flipped?
I've never looked at anyone, have I?
No, but we're saying if she did.
What would you say, Darryl, if it was flipped?
If she told you, I like, I don't know.
I'd say he must have been a good-looking guy.
Pardon?
I'd say he must have been a good-looking guy.
Why would you say that? That's kind of weird, though.
You know what? To be honest, I bet you Darryl would he'd be very upset and stop talking to you.
He would hold it in
himself.
Yeah, I do that too. I sometimes cry silently inside.
And he'd probably just make sure he's alone for a period of time. It would be very hurtful for him, and he'd be very upset about that.
Yeah. Or if he was talking to someone online,
or
and
if you were if you were sitting there online, exactly.
If I was sitting
online and you were looking
and someone was writing me love notes or flirting with me,
Darryl would just crawl in on himself, and because he's like me, right? Like when you're our love or your
partner,
right? And he's like that, the same thing.
Yeah, a few times there was people that were trying to, like, you know, be flirty or whatever, and I just cut them right off my list because I really don't need the drama, the future trouble.
It's for him to see that. It's for him to see that if you were to do that to him, that it wouldn't make him feel nice, and he'd be very hurtful. It's just hurtful behavior.
But I don't flirt with anybody on Facebook.
But it's not that.
No,
it's just a question of looking at other people and, you know.
4:33. Yeah.
No, he's just checking the house.
You don't have to pull into the driveway. There's a lot. It's not far. You were allowed to park here, right? Or is this a bus?
Yeah, allowed to park here.
Okay. Because in Edmonton, there's certain areas where you're not allowed to.
When there's what?
When there's in Edmonton, there's certain areas where you're not allowed to park at all because of the bus route. You're not allowed to leave your car along the sidewalk, eh?
Yeah, here it's okay.
Yeah, here, because they have no signs.